Good morning, everyone. If you are battling an addiction or you know a loved one who is struggling, please don't give up on yourself or on that loved one, because there is wonderful help available. And Hannley, Alex Draghici, and Daniel Baldwin with Soba Recovery are back. Good morning. We're all matching.
Good morning.
We're all in black. We didn't even call
We
each
all
other.
got the memo.
We did. Hi, how are y'all?
Good.
How you
Good to
doing?
see you. I'm good. I'm good. We always like to start out with some, I don't want to say trending topics, but some topics that people are talking about. And the first thing I wanted to talk about actually is about someone very close to you, Daniel, your brother, Alec Baldwin. His book just came out yesterday. And I know in the book I have heard that he does open up a bit about past drug abuse and a drug overdose, and I just kind of want to get your thoughts on that. I know you can't, there's a lot of things you can't talk about, but you can talk about what he talks about in the book.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he has a well-documented past and is a pillar for many years of the sober community in Malibu, where we go to a lot of meetings. I think it's great that he's putting it out there in a book and he's discussing his battles, because I think that a lot of people look up to him and follow him. And so if he can be an example and do, some of the stuff that we've been doing now for decades,
Yeah.
it would be nice to have the help.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And there's also a couple of other stars that have come out and just talked about the importance of family when it comes to their sobriety and having that support system. So Demi Lovato has come out and said that she couldn't have done it without God, without her faith. And then Ben Affleck says that he couldn't have done it without his family, his immediate family. So I guess how important is a support system when you are in recovery and then afterwards?
Well, it's really important.
Yeah.
The family and the loved ones get as sick as the person who needs help. So, and a lot of times people go to treatment and they come out and they've changed, but they forget that everybody is still upset about things, or don't trust them quite the same way as they would like. I know I did. I was going, what?
What are you mad about?
What?
Yeah.
And so the family's got to learn. There's programs for the family. We do family groups and family therapy at our treatment center to, help people kind of prepare for what the transition is going to look like.
But not everyone has that support system, and that's where Soba comes in, because Daniel, you always talk about the fact that Soba is, you have your family, but Soba is your family too.
Well, when you go into recovery, I think the normal reaction for the addict is, hey, that was back then, I'm great now, and you expect all of those wounds and battle scars to heal really, really quickly. And the fact of the matter is they probably don't. And as Greg is suggesting, that if the family as a unit doesn't go into a program of some type of, to understand what their role might have been in it and how to deal with the addict now that they're sober, they're also sick, So I know when I came out, I'm like, what are you mad at? I'm going to meetings, I'm working, and they're like, yeah, you forgot about the 15 years that you tortured us. Where I remember a very sobering thing my mother said. She was weeping, crying to me, and she said, I just kept waiting for the phone to ring late at night to say that you were gone.
Yeah.
And when you have your mother say that to you, that's very, very powerful. You don't think about that when you're out there abusing drugs or alcohol, but the fact of the matter is the family's waiting for that call. Mm-hmm. So it's hard.
They're just living every moment worried, just
Sure.
worried about you. If there's maybe some families watching right now, maybe they have someone who is in recovery or has gotten out of recovery, and they're having trouble relating. They're having trouble really being there for that person. What would you say to families? What kind of advice would you give them?
Well, the first thing is to go to Al-Anon. It's a 12-step group that is based, the membership is based on you have somebody that you love, that either is in recovery or not.
Right.
And I know that it's a huge support, being able to have people you can talk to about things that you wouldn't be comfortable and have gone through it and have ideas. Same with even people from recovery. We take them to 12-step meetings, and they'll get a sponsor and they'll have a group of people that they know who are going through things. I can say things to people in meetings that I can't say to just some guy that I know about how I'm feeling or what's going on. But the support these problems are too big to handle and manage on your own. So you have to have as much support as you can have to be able to be successful.
Well, I mean, let's be honest, most people have never been in this situation before. They have no idea how to help someone after they've been through recovery. So
yeah, a lot of what we do when people call is just give them information. And it can either be they don't know what to do, or they're not sure if something's going on, or what does it work like. And I have talked on the phone to people who literally have changed the planet, and they don't know how to fix this. And they've tried every different thing that they can, and they don't have a solution to it.
Well, I want y'all to stick around because we have so many viewer questions that we have gotten. It's people know that you're going to be on the show once a month, so I want to get to as many of those as we can, and we will do that after the break.
Hi, I'm Daniel Baldwin, and this is Soba Texas, where I got sober. When you come to Soba, you're not going to a hospital. You're going to a beautiful ranch. You're going to a place of peace where you're going to join a family of people that have a common problem, addiction or alcohol. Your treatment plan is made by the clinicians here at Soba, depending upon the circumstances in your life, not like one size fits all. It starts with a phone call. Someone will answer the phone and talk you through exactly what your needs are. Call now.
Welcome back, everyone, and we are back with Soba Recovery, and every month that they're here, we talk about Recovery Today, which is Greg's publication, and you've done something recently. We've talked about it a few months ago. You have written an autobiography. It's called The Forgotten Ones, and it's your story, your entire story up to this point. And, of course, you were on the cover of your magazine of Recovery Today, and you're talking about your story and the book and why you wrote it, and I think it speaks to so many people, Greg. First of all, I know I've asked you this before, but for people who maybe missed that, why did you decide to write the autobiography?
We have a New York Times published author that does writing groups at the treatment center, and I'm kind of known to tell stories.
You've got some stories.
And I was telling him a story, and he asked if he could write the book. And a lot of people had mentioned to do that for a while, so we did. And it turned out differently. It was unexpected. I mean, the stories are there, and there's a lot of funny things, and then there are some things that let people know that you can recover from some, from really the depths of, from horrific depths. But he did a really good job on it. I'm glad to do it, and people seem to like it. It's something that if you get started in it, you're gonna just go through.
I mean, it's you. I'm reading about it, and I'm reading about you as a little boy, and it just, your personality is the same. You're still that loving, kind guy, that go-getter, that hustler, in a good way. I mean, in a good way. But by writing this book, don't you think that you have helped so many people?
Not enough.
Yeah, well.
I'd like more people to read it, but I mean, the main thing is that in this particular book is that I had thought that God had left me, and I had left God, and never did God leave me, and kept showing up again and again at these certain times of my life. And once I got into recovery, then it was kind of like things started manifesting themselves in ways that I couldn't design it on my own. And so it's worth a look at, for sure.
I know y'all have read the book.
Of course.
You know, Greg, it's like you've heard all the stories, right? And but what was it like for you to actually see it there in print?
I have, known Greg a really, really long time, and I've heard every one of the stories.
I know you have.
So, and the hard thing, this just happened, Alec has a book coming out. I've been approached several times. Greg has, the tenacity to go ahead and put that out there. And remember, too, a lot of people that don't know Greg back then will read some of the parts of the book and look at it and go, wow, you did that? Not understanding that was at a time when he wasn't sober and he wasn't, doing the things that we do now. So It frightened me to read the book because I've always wanted to write a book, but if I had to write it and be, write some of the things.
He's really open in it.
Yeah,
There's
he's,
stuff
yeah.
that
he tells you about what it was like, and there's great stuff too. That crazy things that he had like almost a whole zoo at his house with tigers, and you think about it, it's almost like a Gatsby kind of versus a drug addict. But yeah, you should definitely read the book. It's a compelling story about Greg's life.
For sure. And Recovery Today, it's so wonderful, and you do this every month, right, your publication. You're doing something new now, and I love this. You are finding readers who inspire, and you're putting like their before and after pictures, so before they went into treatment, and then after, and we're looking at some of these, and it's like the life is back. I mean, you can see it in their faces. What made you decide to do this, and how do you find the people to feature?
Well, they have stepped out themselves. And it's from readers of the magazine are just submitting those things and their stories on their own. And it's really wonderful to, that's pretty amazing right there. This is what we see. So it goes from that to that, and I see it time and time again, and it's quick. It's almost too quick sometimes. Yeah. But people go from the brink of disaster to having a really significant life again, and it's the nicest part of being a part of what we do is seeing that transitions.
I was about to submit before and afters of all of us three also.
Yeah.
We'll leave it to the magazine one.
For now. For now.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we are really going to get to those viewer questions after the break, and we have several to get to. So you guys stick around. We'll be right back. Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. We are here with Soba Recovery, and we have so many viewer questions that I want to get to, and so we'll just start. Y'all ready? Sure. Whoever wants to answer can answer. Okay, the first one says, a family member of mine who has been an addict in the past recently went through a traumatic experience. How do I help them stay clean through this hard time?
That's what we were just talking about, the support group. Having a good support group, being part of the program. And a lot of this stuff too, these are things that you learn to do sometimes with a support group or on your own with more time you have. I was just talking to somebody who's at the treatment center about how the ups and downs when you're fresh or new are really traumatic. And with time, you learn to deal with them.
Gotcha.
Even if it's a traumatic or very difficult situation, how to get through it without picking up a drug or a drink.
That would be the hard part, right?
Yeah.
When you get out and then you're back in real life again, and you're having to deal in different ways.
Well, if you're fresh, getting a flat tire is like the most difficult, craziest moment. I got how do I fix my flat tire? As time goes on, it could be actually something worse than just that.
If you're going to use, you're going to use. And I can break a shoelace and have that be the reason that I use, or a significant event in my life. And it always comes down to how solid my program is. If I have a solid, and I've been through some things in the years that I've been clean, and because I have a solid program, I have automatic support, and it's okay to feel things. The things about addicts and alcoholics don't like to feel. So when something happens, like say somebody dies in your family, you feel it, and you got to learn how to sit through it and learn how to process it, and it really gives more value to the situation than taking a drink or a drug. And I've seen guys who have gone through bad times in their life very gracefully, and I've seen people who relapsed over things that happened and ended up making things so much worse. Yeah. But it's it is a choice. And when things happen, you get closer to your group. That's how you handle it.
It also is kind of, it's the association with the feeling. Many addicts and alcoholics have some issue, an underlying issue that has propelled them into addiction. And Greg, that's the difference about Soba. Soba will identify and take the long time for you to trust your therapist and then to modify your program around what that particular issue may be. So when that feeling comes back up as an adult, you never get to give yourself a chance to find out what's going to happen as a result of having that. You immediately go use. Right. Now, by having a program of action, you actually take a minute and go, gosh, maybe nothing actually at all is going to happen. But you never really find that out, because for me, the answer was to go run off somewhere and go get high, because that feeling came up. So when you go to the direct source of what that underlying issue is, very few programs do that like Soba does. You know, and continue to sit with clinicians each week and say, you know, a new thing came out in group today that we might want to talk to Timmy about, you know, and suddenly his program is way different than somebody else's program, which is the unique thing and why they have such a success rate.
All right. Next question is from someone who says, I have a friend who's been an addict for a long time. They are always going back and forth from being clean and then using again. How do I maintain that relationship without supporting the bad habits? And how do I show them that I still care for them but cannot be around them when they're using? It's like, how can you be a friend but you don't want to be an enabler, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
well, you just said it.
You're
not around them while they're using. And you keep the conversation the same over and over again, that you need to get help. And I'm not going to interact with you until you get help. And even if it's somebody in your family, so a lot of people, they're afraid to say anything to somebody because they'll run away or they'll get mad at them or something like that. And I always say that I would rather have tried and failed than not tried and failed. Yep. And it comes down to being repetitive about, you need to get help, I'm worried about you. And sometimes you have to just cut it off. I mean, you can't, like addicts will come in and disrupt a lot of different things in your life, and you deserve to have a good life even if somebody is using around you. And if you get too close to it and you're enabling, then what happens is that you live in a constant state of post-traumatic stress, and it's going to affect other people that are around you that don't deserve it.
And the reverse of that continuum is imperative to stay sober. When you're the person that comes out, and both of these guys will tell you, you have to eliminate anyone in your life that gets high. Yeah. When you get out, and many don't. They're friends that you had since child. Yeah. My own brother said to me, I had a real issue with my older brother when I first few attempts, and he looked me right in the eye after many years later, and he went, I couldn't hang out with you. You were still practicing using. I'm sober.
I need to stay sober.
Absolutely. He protected his own sobriety. Right.
And of course you understand that now. And
I get it now. I hated him then.
But now you get it. Now it all makes sense. Okay, and then finally, this is really quickly here. They wanted to know about help at Soba. What type of help is available for families? And you did talk about this a little bit earlier. Address that.
Yeah, and it depends on the client. So the client decides what level of interaction that the family is going to have, and usually, and a lot of times they'll come in and not want any interaction, but that'll change over time when the therapists are working with them, and it can go from having one-on-ones with their family and their therapist. The family can see the therapist, to family support groups that they kind of get to know each other, but the family program is part of the program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And
they're safe to go in that too, because remember, there can be issues with one member of a family that are very sensitive, that you don't necessarily want mom and everybody in the room, you know. So you can pick that, and that'll be done, you know, confidentially.
Okay, that's good to know. And when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about what people can do today, and we do this every time, but if you are struggling, if you're worried about a loved one, we're going to tell you what you can do today to help them or yourself get on the road to recovery. So stick around, guys. We'll be right back. And welcome back, you guys. We are here with Soba Recovery, and I mentioned before the break, if we have somebody watching right now, you guys, that's struggling, they're really not sure if they have a problem, maybe they have a child, a spouse, someone they feel is battling an addiction, what can they do today? Maybe they feel lost, they don't know the first step.
We always say it starts the phone call. So reach out, ask questions. Somebody will be able to help you out and give you some information.
Someone will always answer.
Yes.
Or direct
Yes.
message us on Facebook.
Okay, you can do that too.
Yeah,
Oh.
even Daniel.
Even
Da-
Dan.
Even Daniel.
To avoid this controversy, you can email me directly at baldwinhelp@icloud.com.
Baldwin
and
Help
I will get you everything you need to
iCloud.com.
go into Soba. I will take care of you.
And really, I mean, people, they don't need to be embarrassed if they're unsure, if they just, because a lot of people just have questions. They've never been in this position before.
And if they're here in town also and they're just
Yeah.
curious what it might look like, you can call and schedule a tour, come out and
Soba
visit.
Texas.
Yeah, come out and see what it's like.
You guys are expanding, right? Out at Soba
Always.
Texas.
Constantly.
And you're always
Yeah.
busy. It's just, it's the best place to be, and there's no place like it anywhere.
No, it's
I love
Really
it there. Feels
You'd have
good.
to go to Malibu. This is,
Yeah.
this is Malibu here in Texas.
Yeah.
And you're going to be there for a couple of days, right, Greg?
Yeah, I'll be here through the end of the week.
Okay. So they just call, someone will answer. And then what about if they're worried about insurance and payment and all of that? You will walk them through that.
They get
Through
walked
all
through
of it.
that. Yeah.
Because it's scary.
For
one
sure.
call covers it all.
I like that. Nice quote. Thank
That's
you,
a good
Daniel.
one. It's a good- I'm going to take that.
All right, guys, thank you. And again, Soba Texas is open. You can call. And if you have any concerns, just thank you so much for being here. Love seeing you guys. And thank y'all for joining us. We will see you tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Daniel Baldwin, and this is Soba Texas, where I got sober. When you come to Soba, you're not going to a hospital. You're going to a beautiful ranch. You're going to a place of peace where you're going to join a family of people that have a common problem, addiction or alcohol. Your treatment plan is made by the clinicians here at Soba, depending upon the circumstances in your life, not like one size fits all. It starts with a phone call. Someone will answer the phone and talk you through exactly what your needs are. Call now.